All right, here we are. Final race is over, event is behind us, and here we have Ken Reed, who's going to tell us a couple of words about the event and about his performance and how he feels about all of this in Hope Sound. I mean, first North American Continental IOM Championship. What are your thoughts and feeling after all of this, Ken?
Yeah, well, what a great week. It's I guess I came back. It's nice to go to an event with no expectations, right? To come here this week, having a little bit of radio control experience with the DF95s back up in Newport, and a shout out to our Newport fleet, by the way, for being a bunch of really good people and pushing us hard to learn how to be a radio control boat sailor. But then sailing these IOMs, the thing that stands out is the camaraderie of the group and how the good people are really, really willing to give advice, to answer questions, to give you the straight scoop. And listen, to be third overall and to win this North American, to be the top North American, I wasn't expecting any of that. And it wouldn't have happened without guys like Sponko and Ian Vickers and, you know, Peter, all the guys I'm competing against, Peter and Mark and all these guys who have been sailing these boats for a long time. The camaraderie of the class, and then just how cool these little boats are, how twitchy, how interesting they are to sail. I equate it to like a good golf. That first time you hit a pure golf shot and you're hooked for life, and it's going to cost you tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. I have a sneaking suspicion, honey, I'm sorry, but we might have a few of these things in our future back home in beautiful Portsmouth, Rhode Island.
Well, you certainly did an awesome job. I mean, you just came into RC sailing a year ago, maybe did one or two IOM races at all, and this is like a first big event, and I think your performance was superb because we did have lots of big Q boat sailors coming into IOM. They were really having a hard time compete with the best, and I think your performance here was really astonishing, so congratulations on that. But can you let me know, like, what factors do you think compared with like big regattas with big sailboats are compared unique here compared, you know, IOM, comparing IOM and the big boats? What is unique here?
Well, let's talk with what's similar. First of all, is get a good start, right? So it's the most obvious thing in sailboat racing, but folks, everybody watching this at home, if you don't get off the line, it's over early. And then staying out of the crowds. I learned from watching some of the videos that you did actually of you know, champions like Sponko and others over in Europe. They just avoid the pileups. And some of these race courses, it's kind of Russian roulette as you get to the weather mark. And are you crossing? Are you not crossing? Are you around the mark? Are you not around the mark? I learned pretty early, just be conservative. And if you lose a couple boats, if you're confident in your speed, you can get them back, and just don't take as many chances. So I had a couple pretty good fouls this week, but for the most part, I kind of kept to myself. I tried to anyway, and get a good start. It's that simple.
And what did you say? What do you think then the unique thing is compared to the big boats? Similarities were there?
Well, listen, this is the TP52 of radio control sailing, right? This is a box roll, and what I think a lot of people maybe watching this don't realize, these boats are all different, and they're twitchy little boats. They're fun little toys that a millimeter here, a millimeter there, it makes an incredible difference. All the hull shapes are different, the foils are different, so. For people like me, that's like a dream come true. You know, you don't have to afford a TP52 or a 100-footer. You know, this is not Comanche, but you can play with the same game. You know, you can play with all the same toys on a big boat or on these boats, and they all make a difference. And you can tell right away. You can really tell. So that's it's phenomenal. It's actually, they're amazing sailing little boats. Amazing.
Awesome. And regarding the tuning, now that you mention it, I mean, did you have troubles catching up with all those little ballsies, little ropes, and all of that stuff that's like highly technical in the IOM class?
Well, you guys were kind enough at Sailboat RC to send the K2 over to Portsmouth, where I live. I'm fortunate enough to live on the water, and I'd go out there with my waders on. I just worked on balance. I was by myself. There was no other IOMs around for about a month. And I'd try to get out a couple times a week and just go sail the boat and work on balance and working on weather helm, lee helm, how to get rid of it, what all the little details were. And then I came down and like I said, guys like Sponko, who are proven champions, they were wide open. And hey, you're doing that, that looks right, but have you considered this? Have you considered that? What I didn't do is change too much, right? So if I had come down and just gone to Svanko's tuning process, I think my head would have exploded. So I followed a path, I stayed on that path, but I used little tricks that the good people here have clearly worked out. And I think that worked for me. Whether it was the right thing to do or not, I'm not sure, but it worked for me.
Awesome. Well, before we end this short interview, I can say right away we are going to be looking forward to meeting you on many more races in IOM to come. But do you have something final to say for all the viewers watching us here? Something special, and for, of course, newcomers as well who are coming into this class?
Well, big boat sailors, you guys call them big boat sailors, just sailors. Sailors in general, if you like tuning and tweaking, you would love this class. It is so fun that way. But I need to give a shout out to the Newport fleet, first of all. Bunch of really good people. I think we got 75 DF95s up there now, and we get 20 on the weekends from time to time, and a bunch of good sailors who have taught, each of us have taught ourselves through the competition how to sail radio control boats. And we do it in the winter and the snow, so if you want to have some fun up in the Newport, Rhode Island area, do that. And then secondly, well, thanks to my wife for letting me come here this week and having some fun. But thirdly, thanks to my brother Brad, who isn't here because he's incredibly lazy and has taken the winter off and gone down in the Caribbean with his wife Kara, living on their boat. So while we're freezing to death here in southern Florida, going home paler actually than we came here. Imagine going for a week in Florida and going home whiter than you actually showed up. Brad, I hope you're listening. You got all of us at Newport into this radio control mess, and if this is going to cost me a lot of money, it's costing you a lot of money too. I promise you that. So anyway, thank you to Brad for getting us all into it, especially during COVID when a lot of sailors were looking for sailing to do, and he's done as usual with organization a masterful job.
There you go, Brad. Whole IOM community stands behind you as well, but you have to live up to your word now. See you all on new regattas, guys from Newport, and the rest of you. Thank you very much for this interview, Cam.
Brad, I'm ordering 2 boats, not just 1, 2. One's for you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.